Well, here I am. I can't say this week or last week that this is the weekly edition of the Zera Shimshon because I was sick for 2 weeks. I couldn't even talk. I could whisper. That was it. So you couldn't expect a shir from me for the last 2 weeks, and I couldn't even sing on Shabbos, which is the worst thing. Nor could I have a charusa. But Baruch Hashem, I have my voice partially back. I'll try to do a little bit. As this is Parshas Eira. It is Rosh Chodesh. It was Rosh Chodesh, anyways. It's still Rosh Chodesh by everybody else, and Rosh Chodesh Shavat, and it's also the yahrzeit, among others, about from the Meshi Yechiel Epstein Halevi, who is officially known as the Azaravar Rebbe. He wrote volumes, pages and pages of Torah. He wrote two major works. One is called Moshe, and the other one is called the Eish Das. Eish Das is a encyclopedic work, and even the Be'er Moshe is very lengthy. I think I have, for Chumash, I must have tens for him. And he writes very nicely and very clear, and it's a good, very good shmaka divrei Torah, very unusual. But anyway, I happen to know his son, and the grandson who took over for him, Tanchum Becker, who was a Milwaukee boy. So anyway, should have an Aliyas Neshama. So this is, why did Hashem make the Bnei Israel rich? I hope my voice doesn't go up before I finish. Okay, it says, V'hadaga sheba yor mesa v'yivash hayor v'lo yachlu b'nit Mitzrayim l'shtais mayim nayor v'hi yadam b'chol eretz Mitzrayim. The fish that were found in the river died, the river became foul, and Egypt could not drink the water from the river, and the blood was throughout the land of Egypt. Okay. We are told that Bnei Israel became wealthy from the plague of blood, since the only way an Egyptian was able to obtain water was by purchasing it from a Jew. That's Shmais Rabbah. What was the point of making Jews wealthy now? Okay, they were still in Egypt. After all, Hashem's promise was that they would become rich when it was time to leave. Okay, why did the process begin now, so much in advance of their departure? The Gemara says, Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama says, poverty is worse for a person's household than 50 plagues. It's a Gemara in Baba Basra 116a. We know that the Egyptians were afflicted with 50 plagues, according to Rabbi Akiva, and that Hashem wanted the Egyptians to know that the plagues had come because they were enslaving Bnei Israel. If Bnei Israel were stricken with terrible poverty, it would mean that they were being hit harder than the Egyptians themselves, since, as Rabbi Pinchas Bar Chama said, poverty is worse than 50 plagues. Furthermore, if both Bnei Israel and the Egyptians were suffering so greatly, it would have been impossible to recognize who exactly was being punished, which would have been defeating the purpose of the plagues. Hashem therefore made Bnei Israel wealthy from the first plague, making it obvious that the plagues were a punishment for the Egyptians' terrible actions. We can also understand this question by quoting from the Zohar, which says that Eov was one of Paro's advisors. Right, he had 3 advisors. In the beginning, when Paro wanted to kill the Jewish people, Eov advised him to confiscate their money and possessions instead, and to follow that by taking control of their bodies, forcing them to hard labor. At the time, Hashem said to Eov, I will give you that very same judgment. According to this approach, Bnei Israel's sudden wealth was granted them measure for measure. First, Hashem made them wealthy, and then struck the Egyptians' bodies. And after all that, Hashem awarded Bnei Israel another round of riches to fulfill his original promise to Avraham Avinu about enriching his descendants. Okay, so everybody will have a wonderful Shabbos, and hopefully you won't have too much snow wherever you are, and we'll have a little warmer weather for Shvat Mitzvah Shem. Shvat Higia. Tu b'Shvat Higia Mitzvah Shem Od Me'at. Okay, so have a wonderful Shabbos, Kol Tov.